Okay, here's a problem that deals with present value, and we're asked to determine the fair market value of a share of stock. Now, I'll read the problem right here. A particular common stock has an annual cash flow dividend of $2 per share and is predicted to have a market value of $30 5 years from now. Assuming a discount rate of 10%, a fair market price for the stock is what? And then you have to calculate it. All right, so now I've set it up so that we can solve it two different ways. First, if we wanted to solve this using present value factors from tables, what you would need to do is recognize that we've got a cash flow of a dividend of $2 at the end of every year for 5 years. And then we would have to look up the discount factor for an annuity of $1 at 10% for 5 years. Okay, now you could look that up in a table. I'll actually use Excel to force it by using the present value formula. Now, I won't expect anyone to do this if you were using this approach, but it saves me from looking it up in a table. What you would do is you'd say the rate is, you'd use the present value function. You'd say 10%, 5 periods for $1, and that factor comes out to be 3.7908. Now again, if you're using this in a table, you're going to have to look the information up. If this was an exam question, they're going to have to give you that value for you, or maybe a bunch of values, and you'll have to choose it. Then you just multiply. Multiply any one of the $2 times that discount factor. Okay, now I call this interest rate, but it's actually discount. It's a discount factor or the interest rate on this line. Okay, maybe I should abbreviate that a little bit here. Okay, now I just adjusted the column and adjusted it so you can read it. All right, and then we would multiply a discount factor for a one-time payment times 30. So since I put the formula in here, I can just copy here, and you'll see it's the same multiplication formula. Well, how did I come up with 0.602? This time I took the discount, I used the present value function and set the future value to be 1 for a lump sum amount. So here we have no payment. Okay, again, I wouldn't expect anyone to do it this way. You wouldn't use Excel to do this because I'll show you a quicker way. But if you were given that factor, you would multiply that factor times the $30, and that discount factor is the lump sum amount for $1 that we expect to receive 5 years from now. And we'd multiply again the $30 times the discount factor, add the two components together, you get 2621. That's the right answer. Now, to show you this using how I would solve this using Excel, I would enter the NPV function. I would say equal NPV, hit the left parentheses. I tend to come up to the formula bar, so I get this screen. It says, what's the rate? The rate's given right there is 10%. And then it wants to know the values. All right, the values start at the end of the first period, and they're of different amounts, which is why I can use the NPV, and I close it off. Now, since there's no cash outflow right now, we can just ignore that entirely and hit enter, and lo and behold, we get the same answer. Okay? And so 2621 is the answer to this one. If you wanted to see that formula again, look up here. Okay, I could hit the F2, shows you where it's coming from, or hit the formula bar, and you get the function argument. Okay, that shows how I came up with that. All right, I hope that was helpful, everyone.